Very good morning, students. So we are seeing the topic under the unit 2 actually. So we have finished the topic stack and we are seeing about the topic queue. So last class we saw the basic concept of queue and the operations inside the queue. Okay, so we have a quick recap of it. So what are the operations inside the queue? It will be the NQ operation and DQ operation. NQ will be used to just enter the values, and DQ is the point where we'll be deleting the data. Okay, so since we have a queue concept, we know queue will be having, it's like a hollow cylinder, so both the end will be opened. Okay, so in this diagram I'm showing an NQ here and a DQ here. It's okay. Fine, and we have some two more operations. We call it as front off and is empty. So this front off will be so we have two ends. One is a front end and another one is our rear end. Okay, so here while dequeuing, I'll be having an end called as front, and while enqueuing, I'm having an end called as rear. Okay, so this front off will be returning me the element which has been dequeued. Okay, for this I'm using a function. If I want to use, I will be using this function inside my implementation, and then I'm having a function called as is empty of to check whether the my queue is empty or what else. Okay, if you want to put the data, I'll be checking, or if you want to dequeue the element, I have to go for this function and then I'll be processing it. Fine. So these are the basics of queue ADT. So we saw only the concept of queue and the operations of queue, and how way we are going to dequeue and enqueue the data inside the queue data structure. Fine. So today we're going to see the implementation of the queue concept. Like stack, we have two ways of implementing the queue also, using the array and using the linked list. So fine. So we are going to see only the implementation of the array today. So I have taken an array of size 10. So you can see my indexing starts from 0 to 9 is going to be an continuous memory. Okay, so I'm going to explain my queue concept using this array logic. Right? So this is what my array implementation. So I'm declaring it like int a of 10. Here I'm going to have an front point and a rear point. Okay, where there is a front and where there's a rear, then I'll call this particular block as a queue. So for me, my in this particular diagram, so this particular point is going to tells me the queue. Okay, so I'm leaving all the data before and after that. Okay, anything so between the front and the rear will give me that this is going to handle a queue structure. Okay, so just assume that this front and rear is going to have an index 2 and rear is going to have an index 6. So this yellow shaded thing will be my queue. Fine. So now we are going to try to insert the elements. We can see what happens when I'm going to insert the elements. Okay, before inserting the elements, I'm just giving a random values like 2 4 1 3 6 inside my array. Okay, inside my queue. Okay, and then pointing this front as index of 2 and rear as index of 6. Fine. So now I'm trying to insert the data called as 5. So the insertion will be happened, the NQ will be happened only at the rear end. Okay, so previously I had been changed the front and rear in the last class PPT. Okay, we can have the front and rear in any order, left hand side or right hand side, but we should know that only using the rear end I can able to insert the element, only using the front end I can able to delete the values. Fine. So I'm trying to insert the 5 data and through the rear end, so automatically I'm just incrementing the rear index and I'm just storing the value 5. This is a way to insert at the rear end. Fine. So next we will see how to delete at the front end. Okay, so I'm going to delete data at the front end. So my first data was in the front is going to be 2, my front element. Okay, now I need to just delete this. Okay, for this I'll just increment the front value. That is more than enough. You can see here I'm just incrementing the front index. So what happens now, this will become a queue now. Okay, now this will not be under my Q part, so it's somewhat like a default value. Fine. So this is a way the deletion and the insertion happens in the array. Fine. Fine. So next you will see some pseudocode of each and every operations there. Fine. I have taken an empty array here. So I'm making an initialization. Okay. Assume I'm going to have an initialization called as front equal to -1 and rear equal to -1. This tells me I'm not pointing to the array. It's somewhat after before the array index. Okay. In stack we saw like top is equal to -1. The same thing I've done here. Okay, so we have two index points, front and rear. I'm making this as -1. It's not pointing to the index, it's not pointing the array now. Fine. So now we have a function here or an operation here. We call it as is empty of. Okay. So before putting the data inside the queue, I need to check it. Okay. For this, I'm using this function is empty of. Okay. So what I will do, if my front is equal to -1 and rear is equal to -1, I will tell my queue is going to be empty. So return true, else return false. It's a normal way of doing it. Okay, is empty of function. Next we will see how this enqueue is going to work. Okay, so since I'm going to put a data, so I'll be having a function here. X will be the value I'm passing through the function. So enqueue of X. Fine. So now I'm having an if else logic here. You can see I have to check for whether if I'm going to put in data, I have to check whether my queue is full or not. For this, I'm using an function is full of. Okay, so when my queue will be full, actually when my array size are equal, when I reach my array size, my indexing and the array size are equal, then I will say my queue is been filled. Okay, and this return will just come out of the function. I can't able to enqueue any more data inside the queue. That is the use of, that is the meaning of is full of function. Next comes else if. So here I'm checking for empty. Okay, so if it is empty, what I will do, if it is empty in the sense you can say I won't be pointing to the rear. Okay, so if my queue is empty, I have to make a small initialization. Okay, so what is that? My front and rear will be having an index called as 0. Okay, then I will tell it as my queue is going to be an empty, so I can able to add some datas. Okay, but in else if my queue is not empty, I have some datas on it. Okay, I have some values inside my queue, then this particular else else block will be executed, just incrementing the rear end. That's all. Okay, so for everything the common one will be the putting the values inside the rear. So I gave it after my if block. Okay, this rear this particular line suits for this else if and for this else also. Okay, so I made it in a common statement and I made it to the out of my if block. Fine. If my queue is empty, it's nothing inside my queue. Okay, so what I will do, I will just add the data. That is my first else block. Okay, in another else block, if I'm having something inside my queue, what I will do, I will just increment the rear pointer and I will put the data inside the specified rear index. Fine. So now we will see you will perform some enqueue operation and you will check for it. Okay, so I'm going to perform an enqueue like enqueue of 2. So I'm going to pass a data value 2 into the queue. Okay, so what happens here actually, so my queue is not full, it goes and checks for this first condition, my queue is not full. Okay, so it's empty, so it gets inside my second else if. Okay, here you can say, yeah, it's empty. So what I have to do, if it is empty, I have to make my front and the rear to the index value 0. So you can see automatically the indexing has been changed. Okay, so after doing this, what it will do, it won't be executing this part. Okay, then the control will be coming to this last line. Okay, then I have to put the specified data value into the specified rear index. Okay, so a of 0 will be holding the value 2. So that is what happened here. Fine. So this is a way this particular enqueue of X operation works. Okay, I'm purely using an array to implement this queue concept. Okay. I'm trying to enqueue one more data. My data is going to be 5. The same process, but what happens here? It gets inside the enqueue function. My queue is not full. Yeah, my queue is not full, so this if block won't be executed, and it gets in and it checks for the else if is my empty. Yeah, but it's not empty. Okay, I have one data inside this, so it just gets inside this else part. Okay, in this else part I'm having an incrementation of rear, so the rear value will be changed. Okay, because we'll be enqueuing the value only at the rear end. That is what I gave it as rear equal to rear plus 1. Okay, then I'm just putting the values in the specified rear index. So you can see here the rear will be changed from 0 to 1, and 5 will be inside this index 1. Okay, I'm showing a step-by-step process. So here the rear has been moved, and 5 has been added to it. Okay, so this is the way I'll be enqueuing it, and then just enqueuing one more value. You can see 7. The same process goes on. So now my front will be having an index 0, and rear will be having an index 2. So this part itself is my queue now. Okay, I won't be taking these all as a queue. Only this particular 3 elements are inside my queue. Fine. So now we'll go for a dequeue operation. So in dequeue, what happens is it happens only at the front end here. It happens only at the front end. So it's going to remove the data from the queue is called as an dequeue. So here I'm having a function. Before dequeuing it, I have to check whether my queue is empty or it has some element. If it is going to be empty, I can't able to dequeue any data from my queue. So obviously I have to return from the function. That is what this tells you. Okay, so when my dequeue will be empty actually, so when my front and rear is pointing to -1, I will tell it's going to be, my queue is going to be empty. Indirectly it tells you. Fine. So next I'm having an else if. I'm going to check in condition. So front is equal to rear. So what is the meaning of this? Assume I'm having only one element inside the queue. Okay, assume this is my queue. Fine. So I'm going to have only one element. The element is going to be 2 alone. Okay, so if I'm going to have only one element, the front will be the same value, and the rear also will be the same value. Okay, so at particular point I need to dequeue it. Okay, so what I will make, I will just make my front and rear to -1. So what happens now? Now I'm just deleting the value, only using this initialization. I'm not doing anything else in this. Fine. So when I will say my queue is empty, if my front and rear are -1, I will say my queue is empty. Okay, so I'm using this for here also. Fine. If we have only one element, that is what the meaning of this. Front is equal to rear. If I'm having one element, single element inside the queue, both the front and the rear will be pointing the same element, same index. Okay, for dequeuing that particular element, just make your front and rear as -1. So what happens if I'm going to delete it? So now this is what my array will looks like. Now my front and rear will be coming out of my array. Fine. So the last one is my another option. I have some elements inside my queue. I have some 2 or 3 elements. Just I have to make an incrementation of my front, which is going to remove the value. Fine. So we have 2, 5, 7. So just increment the front value. What happens? The front value will be going to 5, and 2 will be out of my queue. I'll be showing this in next slide. Yeah, you can see here. When so this for particular dequeue of, okay, what happens, this if won't be working, and this also won't be working, because I'm having some 3 elements inside my queue. So my front is not equal to rear, so it gets inside the else part. Here I'm incrementing the front value, like front is equal to front plus 1. So front has been incremented. Now this 5 and 7 only will be my queue, so this won't be inside my queue. Okay, so dequeue always returns me the deleted value. Fine, so it's going to be return me the value called as 2. Fine. So I'm trying more operations here. I'm making a concept to be clear. So I'm just enqueuing and making a dequeue operation. So till this we have seen, right? Till dequeue off we have seen. Fine. I'm trying to enqueue a 3. That is what happens here. 3 and enqueue of 1, added 1, enqueue of 9, added 9, enqueue of 10, added the 10 inside the queue, enqueue of 4 and enqueue of 6. Okay, so I have made plenty of enqueue operations. Okay, now we can see here the front and the rear has been changed. Okay, the front will be having an index 1 and rear will be having an index 8. Fine. So now I want to make you clear is now if I'm going to perform an dequeue operations. Okay, so after enqueue of 6 I'm performing an dequeue operation. So what happens here actually, for dequeuing I will just increment the front value. So front is equal to front plus 1 and this 5 will be won't be inside my queue. Right, the front index has been changed. Fine. And next one is again I'm making an enqueue operation. You can see here enqueue of 2. So I'm adding an element at the rear point, and I have, for adding it I will just increment the rear alone. So rear is equal to rear plus 1. So value has been index value of rear has been changed. Now this is my queue. From here to here will be my queue. Okay, so now what happens is if I need to insert or if I want to enqueue some values, I can't able to enqueue the values. Okay, because I have reached the array size, but I have 2 more spaces here at the front, but I can't able to use it. Okay, so this is a main drawback of implementation of an queue using a normal array concept. Okay, so you can see here this particular space has not been used, it's an empty here. Okay, for overcoming this problem I'll get into the concept called as circular array. Fine. So if you are clear till now, can you give me an okay so that I'll continue the circular array concept? Students, am I audible? Fine. Yeah, thank you then. I'll continue with the circular array. Okay, this is what the main drawback of this normal array. Okay, we are not using the spaces before the front. Okay, for overcoming this I'm using this circular array. Okay, this circular array has a logical representation like this, but doesn't view like this. Okay, but we have a represent like a circular way, so it makes us to understand very easily. Fine. Here the same way what I'm doing here is the front is having the 2 and the rear is having the index 9. I'm taking the same example like that. Okay, you can see front is 2 and rear is 9 and we have 2 empty spaces. I'm just adding that also here. Fine. So now, I'll be using an I to have an index. That is what my index here. Usually what you will do in your normal array, if you want to enqueue the value, I'll just increment the rear one. So rear is equal to rear plus 1. If I want to dequeue something, what I will do, I will just put it as front is equal to front plus 1. But in circular array, this syntax somewhat differs. Okay, you can see if I want to use the next position, if you want to add something inside this 0, I need to use a formula called as I plus 1 modulus of n. Okay, so for example, we will take an example here. Here the rear end is 9, right? So my rear end is 9. So rear is equal to 9. Fine. If you want to find the next index, so next index will not be 10, should be 0. For this I'm using this formula. So how it works actually, 9 plus 1 modulus of my n is going to be my array size is going to be 10. Okay, so what value I'm getting? 10 modulus of 10. So I'll be getting a value called as 0. You can see the next position will be the 0. Okay, for doing this I'm using this modulus of n. Fine. Usually I'll be using only I plus 1, that's all. The rear is equal to rear plus 1, that's all. But here in circular array I'll be having a modulus of n. Fine. And for previous position, we will be having a term called as I plus n minus 1 modulus of n. So for front, I'll be using this. For front, what happens actually, I'll be going in this direction. Okay. For this, I will use this. I will take the, like for example, I need to find the previous position of my rear 9. Okay. So what I will do, 9 plus, I'm using this formula. So I is going to be my 9 and n is going to be 10. Okay, minus 1. I'm going to use a bracket and modulus of n. So now I'll be getting a value called as 18 modulus of 10 minus 10. So I'm getting a value 8. Okay, so this particular formula is used to find the next position of my index, my rear position. Okay, and this particular formula is used to get the previous position. Okay, for rear end, my next position will be 0 and my previous position will be 8. So I found this. Fine. So you will be using these tools while implementing your circular array. Fine. So we'll get inside the concept. So we'll be seeing only this NQ and DQ here. You can see a slight change in our code. Fine. So what I'm trying to change here is, you can see usually in NQ what you have done here. I'll go for the code, a normal query. I'll be checking whether the queue is full. Okay, if it is empty or if I have some value. That is what my 3 conditions. Okay, but you can see little bit a slight change in circular array. Okay, you can see if my rear plus 1 modulus of n is equal to front. Okay, so what is the meaning of this is, when I will say my queue is full, okay, assume I'm having a circle. Okay, take it this as a circle, then I'm having a front here. Okay, so when I call my circular array is full, when my rear comes nearer to my front, then I will call it as an circular, my array is full actually. Okay, for this I'm using this. You can just cross verify it by using this value like 9. Okay, here my front value is 2 and my rear value is 9. When my rear value comes here, then I will tell my array is filled. That is what my first if condition. Okay, and next one is if empty. Okay, empty in the sense what happens, I don't have anything. Okay, I'm going to just fill the first value. So make my rear and front to the same index. You know this, and as usual 1. Okay, and then if I want to NQ and value, what I will do, I have to use the formula rear plus 1 modulus of n. The same way what I'm doing here. Okay, to make the next position from the rear, I'll be using I plus 1 modulus of n. So rear plus 1 modulus of n. Okay, this is going to put the value inside the specified array index. Okay, so we have the only difference will be this particular part. Okay, so when I will tell my NQ is full, actually when my front and the rear is going to be have the same value, then I will tell my Q is my circular array is going to be full. Okay, so when you're going to perform these values for this condition, okay, I'll be having 2 equal to 2. At the time it stops. Okay, but that particular point my rear will be 1 and my front will become 2. Okay, so this is the condition here, and this is the way I have to NQ the values for a circular array. Okay, the only change will be inside this if part, but everything will be the same. Fine. And next, yeah, that is what I'm showing here. You can see the rear and front are nearer. Okay, then what I will say, my queue is full. I can't able to add element inside my circular queue. Fine. Now I'm trying to NQ a value 15. So initially it was pointing the index 9. Okay, now I'm trying to put the value inside the 15. So these two condition becomes false and it gets inside this else part. You can see here my rear end is 9. 9 plus 1 modulus of 10 equal to 0. So you'll be getting in value the 0. So my rear is pointing to the 0 index. Okay, and then putting the values to the rear index. So I'm putting the value 15 to the 0th index. Okay, next. Next, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to DQ it. Okay, so I'm performing a DQ of operation here. Okay, so after your yeah, this is what the DQ. In DQ, the same thing, whether I have to check whether my queue is empty. If it is my queue is empty, I should not perform anything. Okay, so when my queue will be empty, when my front and rear becomes -1, I will say my queue is empty. Okay, then I'm going for an else part. If I'm having a single value inside the queue, what I will do, I'll make my front and rear as -1. So automatically the single value will be removed from my queue. This is my second condition. My third condition is I have to change the assume I'm having so many values inside my queue. Okay, so now I'm making a DQ in the particular place. So I have to do front plus 1 modulus of n. Okay, so I'm performing a DQ operation here. DQ of, so what is your front value pointing to an index 2, so 2 plus 1 modulus of 10, and therefore this is going to give a value called as 3. So automatically the front will be pointing here and 7 will be removed from your queue. You can see the next diagram, you can see. Fine, now the 7 become a default value, it won't be in the part of your queue. Fine, so this is the way I'll be performing my NQ and DQ for a circular array. Fine, and you know we have one more function called as front actually. So front is nothing but is going to return me the value which is going to hold here. That is my return A of front. Fine, like returning the rear value, I can also return the front value. Fine, so that's all about the circular array. Fine, so we have a major drawback in normal implementation of an array, so we are using an circular array in the queue. Fine, so any questions, students? Shall we go for a QA session?
Hello,
Yeah.
ma'am. In that array, ma'am,
Hmm.
you are leaving two memory empty, no, ma'am. Two space
Yeah.
empty, no, ma'am.
Hmm,
Why,
yes.
ma'am, like that?
No, I'm just making a DQ here. Okay, wow. So when I'm making a DQ, what happens? The space has been empty. We have a
Yes,
queue here. I can't able to insert in this particular place because we know that insertion NQ happens only at the rear end.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when I'm trying to DQ it, what happens? 7 will be gone, 3 will be gone, 1 will be gone. Okay, because this particular index I'm going to use only for DQing it. I won't be using this pointer for NQing actually.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Ma'am,
that's only we are using a circular array. The space will be there. I can't able to fill it again because the index, the position here is front, not rear.
ma'am,
Yeah,
ma'am. In
yeah.
linear queue also, you are leaving the first two space empty, ma'am. After that only the values are getting added, no, ma'am. Why you are leaving that first two space as empty?
Here you're asking, huh? No,
Ah,
see
yes, ma'am. Both.
for here you're asking. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
While starting, I have left the two space empty, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's what.
See, while implementation, I'm not leaving this two space here.
Yes, ma'am.
While I'm starting, I'm just starting from here only. Okay, but when
Ah,
process goes on, what happens actually? Initial places has become as an empty one. I can't able to put any value inside my 0 or 1.
oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, wow. See, how to say this? We have a like a block of array we are having actually. Fine. So we are making a particular block as a queue using this two index.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in that index, if I'm going to remove from the front point, automatically what happens? A space will be created there. A default will be there, but we can't able to put a value again there.
Okay,
The
ma'am.
space will be there. That is what I'm saying here. You can see here I'm started from the first only. Okay, it starts
Yes,
from 0 only. I'm using my front and rear from the same index. Okay,
Yes,
as you're
ma'am.
doing some operations, what happens for me? I'm doing so many NQs and all, but I'm going to perform a DQ, it becomes an empty queue.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Means if once we delete, we cannot add that element once again in that
At the
same
end, we
spot.
can't able to add.
Okay.
At that particular index, I can't able to add. That is what I'm trying to tell you. I can't able to add again, at the particular index 0. I can
Oh,
add 3, 4, 5, and I can't able to add at the index.
oh, got it, ma'am.
Yeah, so only I'm using this circular array. So you can see now I can add in 0 also.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you. Then any other doubts, guys? Shall I go for the QA session? Yes, fine. So yeah, you can just give me an answer for this. I'm just taking the question. So what I thought, it covers your queue concept, queue operations, and the implementations. It's a circular queue. So what will be the answer for this? Assume it's a maximum having 6 elements. That is what this dash dash has been taken. So what will, after processing it, what will be the front point and what will be the rear point and what is the data inside the queue? That is what the question. Shrutika, I got the answer from her. It's answer A. Okay, any other students? Give a try. Yeah, the answer is A because we have a queue like this. Okay, so we have the values L, M, N. Okay, and we have maximum 6 elements here. Okay, that this dash represents the filling elements. So we have 2 more elements here. Okay, so now my friend will be pointing here. Fine, and the rear will be pointing. Am I correct? What I'm saying? Yes, and the rear will be pointing this this particular N. Okay, this is my front part and this is my rear part. Fine, and I'm going to perform an add of O operation takes place. So now what happens? My rear changed here. So this will be the element. So LMNO will be the value inside the queue, and my front and the rear will be changed from 4 to 5. Fine. So the answer is going to be the option A. Second one. We saw this in the implementation, this coding part. The maximum size of an array used to implementation of a circular queue. How is rear manipulated while inserting the element? Okay, when I'm going to enqueue and value, so what happens? How, in what place the value will be inserted? Usually normal array will be using rear is equal to rear plus 1. For a circular queue, what will be using? Yeah, I got so many answers. Yes, the answer is going to be C. Okay, rear is equal to rear plus 1. Percentage maximum size nothing but the size of the array. Good students. Can you give me the answer for the next one? Option is A, option C, option C. See, I'm talking about a circular array. Okay, not a normal array. Yeah, the answer is going to be Kavya. Yeah, super, super. The answer is going to be 0. Okay, you can know, we can know that it's going to start from 0. Fine, and the rear is going to be 9. If I want to add one more insertion, what happens actually? Again, it's going to the value called as 0. Fine. So like this. Fine. So this is what the answer. The answer is going to be 0. Next one. Shrutika, the answer is B. Okay. What about others? When I will say my queue is empty, whether it's a circular queue or a normal queue, I will tell the queue is empty when the front and the rear is equal to -1. Okay, they are asking which condition specifies that circular queue is empty. Fine. So when my front and rear is -1, then I'll call it my queue is going to be an empty one. Okay, this will be for both circular array and a normal array also. So the answer is going to be B, not A. Okay, so then the last one. A normal queue, if implemented using an array of size max size, gets full when? So when it gets full, actually, when rear is equal to the max size -1. Yeah. No, I'm getting a wrong answer also. The answer is going to be A, not D. Fine. So in a normal queue, normal way of queue, if implemented using an array of max size, the array gets full. When it gets full, actually, when my rear becomes the max -1, okay, from 0 to 9, okay, it gets full only at this particular point. Assume my max size is going to be 10. Okay, when my rear comes to 9, what happens? I will say my queue is going to be filled. So the answer is rear is equal to max size -1. That's all, students. For today's session is done. So we have a quick recap. We saw two main things today. One is the implementation of a queue using a normal array, and based upon some drawbacks. So we are using an concept called as circular array to manage all those drawbacks. Okay, so we saw the implementation of it. So I gave you a small routines. You try to convert this routine into a programming language. Okay, either a C or C++. Try to convert it. Fine. So I thought you were clear. I think I thought you a clear routine for you. So it's easier to convert this into a C language. Give a try. Fine. So thank you then.